Hey, Mike here from Sonoran Lighting Supply. I wanted to dive in a little deeper to the Lumion Quick Connect system and what it means to you as far as a contractor and being able to go out and really tackle any situation in the field. What the Quick Connect is a Quick Connect plug that is rated to be outdoors. It's at the end of very different accessories in the Lumion line, whether it's the micro line or the nano. And we're going to get into those a little bit more in depth here soon or on future videos. But what it allows you to do is quickly and easily and efficiently morph or transform any fixture for any application. So using their line of LED modules, knuckles, mounting accessories, you can really kind of create anything your heart's desired for any application you're up against. Pretty neat because no one else in this industry currently offers that but Lumion Lighting. And that's why we're so excited about it. So let's start off by talking about this basic module here, or accessory. And this is the Lumion LAB 164. And what this allows you to do, so if you look at this guy, what it is it's a knuckle with a quick connect on the end of it. And you see here, there's something missing where you can now take a module, quick connect module from Lumion Micro series, and you can actually screw it right into there. Okay. And you can put this either on a stake, which the stake would have the wire lead coming out the outside of it. So at that point now it's completely independent. So if you had to service this module or replace it, or you wanted to upgrade it, or whatever you needed to do, you wanted to put a riser on it, you can always do that with a Quick Connect system. So no longer are you bound by wires between every single little accessory that you want to put between your mounting option and your actual light fixture themselves. So there's a variety of different mounts, and we're going to get into these a little bit more in depth, but there's surface mounts, different sizes. So you can actually go with a nano size or a micro size, what that means is it's just size preference. So I have a larger application where I want to use the micro size mount where there's two holes. So if you have a surface, you can actually just mount this right to a surface. Your wire leads in there, and you can take your fixture and easily just thread it right into place once it's installed up there on an eave or wherever else. When the surface mount allows you to do is loosen it up and actually clock it in any position you want. So obviously the one thing that we're missing right now is the shroud. So right now you're looking at this knuckle and this LED module, wondering, well, that's just kind of a weird looking fixture. We're missing part of it, but the idea is to kind of give you guys the idea of what the Quick Connect system is all about. It's very versatile, and if you're in the field and you're looking at an application and you just don't understand how you're going to do it, the Quick Connect system really allows you to dial that in right there on the spot in the field. So that being said, what I want to do is actually take a deeper look into the different lines that Lumion offers, or the series, being the nano, the micro, and the macro. And those are three different sizes to scale of everything that's available in this Quick Connect line. So let's do that. Okay, so with the nano line and they're all Quick Connect, you have three different options. You have the nano knuckle, you have the nano, and you also have the half nano. And so like anything else, and the whole reasoning behind the Quick Connect line is you can, again, morph these things. And I'm going to say this several times, but you morph this system into anything you can possibly think of to suit the application that you're up against. And that's important to us as lighting designers and installers, is being able to be very versatile and make changes on the fly and not be just stuck in with one product that you might be using. So where you would use some of these products, the nano knuckle, obviously, you can take this nano knuckle. Let me bring over the accessories here. And what you're looking at here is a variety of different options. But here's an example I want to show you. So the nano knuckle, you can put a spotlight accessory on it. Screw that guy right in there. Now you have yourself a spotlight. You add a mounting stake. Now you have a complete unit. So that's a Nano knuckle. Spotlight kit, the knuckle itself, and the mounting stake. You might be wondering, what the heck is that stake? Well, you know, what's the brass ring? If I loosen it up, I can actually take this and pivot it around and lock it back into place. So that's an example of where you would use a Nano knuckle. You can morph this thing into wash lights. You can morph it into downlights, you know, directional downlights with longer shrouds. As you see in this case, there's a lot of different options here. So you're not really limited to just one or two or three, even three things. Heck, you're not even limited to 10 things. You're limited to a few hundred options and configurations when it comes to the Lumion Quick Connect system. So let's dive into the Nano knuckles done. Let's dive into the Nano and where you would use that. So in addition to just the different styles as far as having a knuckle type fixture or just a straight type fixture, you know, they also have different wattage ratings as well. So with the Nano Spot, you're going to have like a 30 degree 27K, a 30 degree 3000K, a 15 degree 27K, or a 15 degree 30K. And the different wattages available in the Lumion Nano modules is going to be like a 1.5 watt all the way up to, I believe, a 2.5 watt or 3 watt. Again, different beam spreads and different Kelvin temperatures available in those as well. And then if you need just a really small, tiny little light, maybe you're going to use it as a hanging pendant or something, which we'll get into more of that application here shortly. You have this tiny little fixture that you can actually put up into a tree. You can put into under a bench, you know, for just some like niche lighting. You can do all sorts of things with these modules, and that's what's so neat about the line. With those Nano modules, they actually even come with a silicone sleeve. So this is actually how you would get it out of the box, including the wire lead that goes onto it. So I'm going to backing up a little bit. This is actually how you would receive this module brand new in a box. Nice tight little box, you get it out, and you have a wire lead, so instantaneously you can start putting an accessory on the end of that, you can wire it in, and you're off to the races. What this sleeve does is it mounts, so these are actually an extruded PVC sleeve specially designed for the tolerances of these modules. So if you're going to put this thing into a hardscape, or you're going to pour this sleeve into a wall, I mean, again, the options are endless. That actually goes right down in there just beautifully, just like that right there. So if you have some sort of a hardscape top, such as this little guy right here, that's a nice look. And so now you have actually something to mount the fixture into, something that it seats into, rather than just being buried in the dirt, which you can bury in the dirt, but this just gives more of a mounting base. So something that I want to touch on with this particular display case, this is what we happen to have in front of us here, is a sales display case that we use quite a bit to show contractors in our area, as well as any flyouts or fly-ins that we've done with Lumion lighting. This is just a really good example of just a part of the offering that they have for the Nano line. One of the things you're going to see quite a bit here in this case, if I just move this forward just a little bit more, you're going to see all these options up here. And what these options do is it allows you to have, you know, an uplight, allows you to have, you know, a shielded uplight. Here are some other options like little half moons. So if you wanted a little fixture, you know, recessed into a wall and you just wanted some light to come down, or if you wanted this into the ground and you want to shoot light maybe across like a little pathway or something, you can use these little half moons. You have another marker option here. There's 360 degrees, so it actually shoots light out 360 degrees around the actual accessory itself. You have the half open round. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow light to shoot up and also out as well. So maybe you have a really tight area that you want to put a fixture in. You don't want it to be above the ground, and maybe you have like a little statue or something here. You can actually put this down into a hardscape or even a softscape, and you're going to get light up on the statue. You know, you want your light to the effect to be seen, but not the actual source. The Nano line, I'm telling you guys, when you see the power of these little LEDs, even though this little guy is, you know, about as big around as my thumb and about an inch long. The power of them is amazing. The performance is fantastic. Moving along in these hardscape tops, you're going to have a square open, half open shroud. And what this is going to allow you to do is not have a potential tripping hazard here. Again, you're going to allow light to shine up and also out. And so the big difference between these two accessory tops here is just if you have more square elements in your landscape, then you go with the square. And if you have more round, then you go with the round. So you can continue on with that same design that you're going throughout the yard, whether it's, square edges, very formal looking, or round edges and kind of wispy looking, and you have these options in these different tops. They all do the same job. Just like we had the open top just giving light straight up, we have the square top. So there's your two options there. So round and square. And again, these things are just like, think of yourself as installing just like a little tiny miniature well light. You're just going to give light straight up. Very, very clean. And so when it comes to the markers, there's a square two-sided. So you have 90 degrees of light coming out of that guy. Perfect for little walkways where you might have an intersection. You can shine light in two different areas and it blocks it off from the others. And you also have a single opening. So pretty neat, very extensive offering. And again, the way these things work is you just take the module. There's an O-ring seal on the accessory. The lens in this case is already installed. You tighten this down. There you go. There's your little light. Look at the size of that thing. You're never going to see it. It's never going to get in the way. Again, you're going to see this. You're not going to see the source of the light. You're going to see the output. You're going to see what matters and what the homeowners are really ultimately looking for and paying for. So the Nano line with all the hardscape tops and offerings, pretty amazing stuff. Other things you can do with this Nano are, some of these hardscape tops are more or less markers. So in other words, you might put them on a walkway, you might put them on a wall or something just to give some lighting accents down and kind of bring that area into play with your landscapes. So there's no difference in some of these tops as well. So you might have these little glass tops you can put on the end of one of your Nano modules. You can put that into, with the sleeve, you can put that into the sleeve so that just kind of sticks up and it's just a glowing, like a marker indicator. Or you could even take that little module, use one of the accessories, such as a riser, put that guy there, screw this into the quick connect stake, and now you have yourself just a little tiny miniature bollard. So again, endless, guys. I'm going to continue to kind of go through some of the accessories in this case and try to explain exactly how you can use them. So you have, that same style top with a brass topper on it. So glass top, frosted lens with a brass top on it there. You've got the glass lens with no brass top on it. And then you have these little miniature bollards, those little miniature bollard tops. So this is something that you would actually put just right on top of one of those risers. And again, it just acts as a marker. You can use this just at ground level like this, or you can put it on top of a riser and have a little miniature bollard. So that was a dual opening. This is a single opening. You can even put this on a 90-degree elbow and have a nice little contemporary path light coming down. And you can rotate that. So if you wanted to rotate it, make a little wash light out of it, you can certainly do that as well. Louvered, two-sided opening louvered top. You've got your single side opening louvered top. Again, to use as a bollard or a marker light. And then you've got some of your longer glass tubes. So these are not acrylic, these are actually glass. You have a bubble glass and a frosted glass, and you can use these as a little miniature bollard, or you could use these as a hanging pendant light to hang out of a tree, such as this. And we'll get into more of how you put that stuff together here shortly. You have more of your pendant lights with the, what I call the Swiss cheese degrader style. So randomized holes, so you can have that as a nice little hanging down light. Or you can use that as a bollard light And you can put your little brass top. That's also an option right on top of that. So now you have a completely closed off either bollard light with just randomized holes that illuminates at night, or a hanging pendant light. Just no light is going to be coming down. It's just more of that star field out. So as you can quickly see and imagine, the options are endless, and this is just a small offering of what's in this Nano case. The cases, we do sell the cases. We use it really primarily. We have all three. We have the Nano, the Micro, and the Macro. We use it for just showing customers that come in and want to see Lumion for the first time. But for a few of our customers, they've actually purchased these cases because they can take this now and go to their client, and they're talking about this retaining wall they're going to have around a hot tub. And well, what kind of lights do you have for that retaining wall? Do you want to just do the everyday boring under cap lights that you can't really service? They tend to look hot on the wall. There's no style to them. Or do you want to use one of these tops, put it in a diamond fashion, so you have light coming down here and here. Don't always think of everything having to be perfectly square, so you cant that at a 45. And now you have this really neat look, and you can actually have that every couple feet on this wall, and you kind of get into this rhythm with those lights and that repetitiveness across the wall. And then, because it's on that wall, you get to do the other wall. And because you did that wall, you have to do the front entrance wall. So what does that mean for you? Your job just doubled, tripled, quadrupled, whatever it is, the amount of lights that you put on it. But it's all for good cause because it's design. So it's just these little lights are the gateway to many different options. And the Nano line is a very complete line. You'll even see here what you'll get with that is, again, the spotlight shroud. So if you wanted to, you could just literally take that spotlight shroud, put it right on this little miniature half Nano. I keep going back to this guy. It's like my favorite light. It's a really amazing light. Let's take this riser back off for a moment. So you have your stake. For demonstration purposes, I think what I should do is to show you guys this wire lead. I kind of jumped ahead of myself a little bit, so let me back up. But when you get these Lumion modules, whether it's the Nano, Micro, or Macro, they all come with a wire lead. And that wire lead, it's about 6 feet long, and it unscrews from the back of the module, just like this right here. And now you have this nut, the wire lead itself with the quick connect. So what you would do in this scenario, if you wanted to stake, is you just take that nut off. Let's put our little O-ring back on that guy there. And then whatever mounting accessory you're looking at, such as like this stake right here, you literally just put that wire right into the stake. This is a machined housing that will hold this perfect, and it's designed to hold this little socket. So as I pull this wire through the stake, that little quick connect socket just sits right down in there just perfectly, just like that. So this is what you actually wire into the system right here. Now that you have the stake and it's wired in, if I wanted to come over here with this little light that I was building, and let's say I needed a little tiny miniature spotlight, but I didn't need any adjustment to it, then why would you ever spend the extra money on something that had adjustment, such as this Nano knuckle? Let's save you a few dollars and just go with just a module. Screw that right onto the quick connect stake, just like so. And in this case, I've got my spotlight shroud on there, 60-degree angle cut. And now I'm just lighting something straight up. Maybe it's in our case out here in Arizona, maybe it's a saguaro cactus or an Arizona red beryl or something, or it could be a small little crepe myrtle, depending on where you're at. Tons of applications, but how clean is that? Just a very simple, clean little spotlight, non-adjustable. So now you take that shroud off, and I can turn this into a wash light just by adding the wash light shroud, just like that. So simple, so basic, easy concept. The other thing you're gonna find is with a Lumion line, because everything is interchangeable and reusable, your waste is very, very little. So you're always, if you take an accessory off, you can always use it again in another situation. So never ever get rid of any little parts and pieces that you might accumulate, because those are all, that's a half a fixture right there. So you can always use it in the next application. So, or the longer shroud, such as that guy right there. So maybe I need a little extra glare protection. So now you've got the, what's kind of dubbed as the downlight shroud. But again, keep in mind, all these modules have glass that are already in there, sealing it all off. So even though I have that longer shroud that doesn't have a lens, it's no different than any of these other guys other than the wash light. You know, there's no lens in that one either, because it's completely sealed off at the module. And then everything has got a Allen screw, so you can tighten this down to the module, and even the adjustment ring here on the stake. If I take this off, you'll see there's a little set screw right there that allows me to tighten that up so that someone couldn't come over here and just unscrew the module without knowing that you got to take that locking ring off to get to that little set screw. So maybe for several reasons, maybe, well, vandalism be number one. Number two, obviously to preserve your design. So you have this rotated a certain way. Maybe it's got a knuckle fixture on it. If I lock that in, you can't go over there and mess with it. So it preserves your design. Very, very smart. Some of the other things you will notice in this Nano display case are going to be some of the mounting accessories. So I've got the surface mount. So again, that little wire lead and the socket just go right into here, and they feed out the back side. You can come up here and mount this to a surface, whether it's horizontal, vertical, doesn't matter, under an eave, whatever the case may be. And then the fixtures, again, will screw right onto that. Maybe you want to put, let's see, what do you want to build? Oops. Let's do this guy. So you got the Nano module, you've got the adapter with the shroud, and now you've got a surface mounted directional downlight. Again, you just loosen the screw, you can adjust the angle there, you can loosen this brass nut here, and you can adjust the angle here as well, anywhere in there. So pretty neat. In addition, you're going to have different options such as T's, so you can actually screw this into that surface mount, and you could have an uplight and a downlight, like a sconce light. You could do something like this. There's actually an adapter that puts that onto there, so you can actually have a glass uplight and downlight, or you can just do the L or the 90 degree. So if you just want to come in to a surface mount such as this, mount that guy onto a wall or a pergola, put that guy right there. Take that module off, screw this guy on there. Now you've just got a little surface mount L light or an uplight with a glass bubble lens. Something that I haven't touched on is these Nanos. They're available in the Pro version as well, which is going to give you the abilities to dim it down, to raise up the lumens, to change Kelvin temperature, and there's also an option to change colors. So using the remote, it all works off of RF, but using the remote, you can actually dial in every single little fixture accordingly. What I like about that, and here's what I talk to a lot of our customers about, is with the nanos and the micros and the macros, and we're going to cover those in another video, it's a designer tool. So a lot of the lighting designers, installers, they're going to go out there and they're going to dial in their jobs every night, or every time they finish a job, they do a nighttime adjustment. So the homeowners don't necessarily always have to have that remote. A lot of times, especially the lighting professionals, they like to have this remote because they're going to go out there now and they're going to dim down this fixture. They're going to raise up that fixture. They're going to change the Kelvin temperature from 2700 to 3000 on that cactus or that jasmine or whatever that might be that you're lighting up to get the colors out of it. And then you just hit the save button here on the remote. The light flashes a few times and it retains that. So now every time the fixture turns off and back on, it's always going to come back to that setting. So it's a very, very awesome setup tool. That's how I recommend using the Lumion Pro line. And all these modules that I've shown you are available in either Lumion Core, which is just the standard wattage and beam spread and Kelvin temperature, or Lumion Pro, which is adjustable wattage and adjustable either Kelvin temperature or color, RGBW. So that's it for the Nano. Next, let's talk a little bit about the Micro.